to Malorie Bailey tonight about her uterine fibroids, her journey with fibroids, how she had uterine fibroids one time, got them removed, and they came back. So if you're just jumping on, welcome to the conversation tonight. And so you flew up to New York, just to support everybody. You flew up to New York and you had this surgery, the UFE, which is one of the 3 procedures that you can have when you are presented with fibroids. So many people are on here and they're like, I have fibroids, what should I do? There'll be several options that will be presented to you. Usually doctors, unfortunately, won't give you the last 2, this last one, which is UFE. They'll give you hysterectomy, myomectomy. And there are several reasons why. Because they're both invasive surgeries. These are procedures where you are cut. These are procedures where you are hospitalized. These are procedures where you have to have, an anesthesia. You have to have, sutures or stitches. You have to be in a different kind of treatment and healing process. And I think it's going to help to dispel some of the myths that many women have about having a UFE. And for those of you that are jumping on and don't know what a UFE is, Mal is going to talk a little bit about that. This is the procedure that we do here at the USA Fibroid Centers.
This new thing, UFE, life-changing. It's life-changing. And if that was out back then, oh my gosh. A funny story is the first time I had the fibroids out, I came to Atlanta and my sister was bleeding really heavy. And I said, oh, you have fibroids. She said, I have what? I once told her that she had fibroids. She said,
so you diagnosed your sister?
Yeah. I said, you definitely have fibroids. I said, I got these pills if you want to try those, but of course they didn't work. And she was like, okay, but she actually took the step and called somebody and made it happen. The next time I see her, she said, oh, I got my fibroids out. You need to go ahead and get yours out. And I'm like, what? But I'm thinking the old technique. I didn't know anything. She didn't tell me about the UFE. She didn't tell me it was new, advanced, painless, and quick. And just something, she didn't say all that at the beginning.
Say that again for the people in the back. It's what? New, advanced,
quick, painless, and just you'll be done. She did not say that. So I'm thinking like she had surgery in the hospital. I'm like, oh wow, I didn't know you had yours out. She said, are you still dealing with that? Why don't you just go get it out? She said, if you don't get these fibroids out right now, she said it was quick. It took me 15 minutes. I was like, what you mean it took you 15 minutes? She's like, and then she explained the UFE to me.
Yeah.
And I said, what? Now, why you didn't tell me that? You're like, why didn't you, why didn't you say it was that simple? I would have been did this. Yeah, for sure. She made the call. That next day, Cynthia called her because she said, I'm partnering with US Fibroid Center. I'm an ambassador. We talk about this. I know all about it. Let me make some calls. They called me the next day and I was on a flight 2 weeks later. If it wasn't for her, I would still be going through this. So when I came in and I met Dr. White, he was amazing. He simply went from step to step and explained everything. And he's like, yeah, it's about to take about 15 minutes. I'm like, okay, so how is it going to take? So what do you do? You're not going to go through my navel? What do you do? He said, no, it's the wrists started growing. We like to go to the wrists. And he explained that. And I'm like, wow. And so, I actually wasn't even nervous because he was so amazing and so much information was given that I wasn't nervous. And I remember they said you're going to go to sleep for a second, and then before you can really wake up and think about it, it's over. I went to sleep and I know it felt like 5 minutes. I was up. I woke up and he's like, okay, we're done. He said, we're done. You did good. I was like, we're done. You finished? It's like, what do you mean I'm done? I'm feeling like regular right now. Like no pain, no nothing. Like we're done. I was like, so is everything in there all right? I mean, did you just, he's like, yeah, it's done. It dissolves in 6 months. But yeah, we did what we needed to do. I was like, so I can go home?
There are so many women, I get so many inboxes from women who want to have children, who, are dealing with these fibroids, and they are in this debilitating pain where they just can't move, they can't breathe. They're like, I am so sick of it. But they haven't made a choice to do anything about it. You had a surgery before you had the UFE, and it was more invasive. So you ended up time away from the things you just mentioned. And so tell us about when they came back. Did they come back with a vengeance? Did they come back?
Yeah.
Tell me about that part.
So when they came back, it was worse. They instead of bleeding every 2 hours, having to change, it went from every 30 minutes. So every 30 minutes, I'm going to the restroom. And it handicapped me for the first 3 days. I couldn't go anywhere. I couldn't work anyway. I just couldn't do it. So it just became really a part of my life. Don't invite me to anything from the 1st to the 10th because I didn't know which one day it was coming. I'm not coming. I can't do anything other than lay in a bed. And of course, my mom had fibroids. So she said, oh, you're probably going to have a hysterectomy. And I'm just like, I don't want to do that because I actually still, newly married, want to have kids. So I was like, that's not an option for me. I don't want to do this. She said, well, it wasn't an option for me, but if the bleeding don't stop, that's what you're going to have to do. This fibroid thing, it's no joke. And if anybody on here that's watching and you go through this, it's a quick fix now. It's a quick fix. Get this UFE. It's quick, it's painless, and you do not have to go through any of this anymore.
For those that don't know, we do this at a vein clinic. So the fibroids are removed through a vein, y'all. Let me put it in layman's terms. It's cut off, the oxygen is cut off, and the fibroids end up dissolving. After the UFE, people can still have children. You guys still have kids. You can still conceive. You can still have sex. You can still you're going to feel great. As you can see, Malorie, if y'all have been looking at her page, y'all, she's been looking some kind of yummy. Okay, you've been looking good, girl. I'm talking about super good. So how do you feel? I know you're looking good, but how do you feel?
I feel good because that little pouch that I had, a little bloated pouch, it's not there anymore. So I got my confidence back because that pouch thing wore it out. That bloating is one of my, I can't stand it was uncomfortable to be bloated. So that actually has dissolved. I'm more energy. So, with fibroids, it makes you not want to do anything. So my energy is coming back. So my sex is coming back. Even though I camouflaged it, deep down, I was like, oh my God, just to even take a picture, just to even put on makeup or just to go out there and try to look good was a task. It really was a task. But now I'm enjoying putting makeup on, going to stuff, putting on my clothes again. And I'm feeling good in my clothes too because that bloating is gone. This will definitely help a lot of people. Just watching me, and it was so quick. It was so quick and just painless, and went on to the room and watched the movie after. Like should have did this a long time ago. I don't know how long UFE's been out, but if I had known Cynthia had just mentioned that little small part that it was a different thing, I would have did it a long time ago.
That it runs in our families. And I know you said your sister had fibroids. We know Cynthia is a fibroid survivor and had the UFE, but anybody else in your family suffer from the fibroids?
So my mom had it, and she had a hysterectomy. And I've been talking to my daughter because she said her cycles are very, very heavy, and I'm encouraging her to go. She's young, but I said I'm telling you right now, she's young. I said she's in her 20s. I said, but still go because it definitely runs in the family, and she definitely every month be going through it. She goes through it, so I think that it definitely is passed down to her.
What we want to make sure we do is we get her into USA Fibroid Centers so we can get her screened. For those looking at the screen, I do have we do have free screenings. If you call the number that is on the screen, you can get a free consultation. We have centers all across the nation where you can have this procedure done. We have a 98% success rate with the uterine fibroid embolization procedure. So I encourage you to call the number so that you can be screened and so that we can see exactly what's going on with you and what suggestions we make to be able to get you free from fibroids.
Because this thing affects 85% of Black African women.
That's absolutely right.
This is something that can be taken care of quick, painless, and just and you can go on about your life. And a lot of people don't know about UFE. This is nothing to play with. You can die from it if you don't take care of it. and get it done. And I promise you, if you get it done, you're going to reclaim your life. I'm telling you, you just don't, you can plan stuff, you can do stuff, you can wear this. You don't have to wear those granny panties every month like I did. Years of suffering, a 15-minute fix. Years of being handicapped, a 15-minute fix. He told me it's 15 minutes. I believe it was 5 because I was in and out so quick.
And we hope that you feel better. You don't have to suffer in silence. Make sure you tell your friends all about us. We love you. Have a wonderful evening. Peace.
Bye.
Bye.